Like, wait.
Pretty exciting. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for Bethesda Game Days. We're live at Boston with a live audience, which is very exciting.
Hi, everyone. Boy, we can't take Abner Tharn anywhere, huh?
I know. He just keeps screwing everything up.
Troublemaker.
I'm Gina Bruno. I'm one of the community managers for the Elder Scrolls Online.
And I'm Jess Folsom. I'm also on the community team for ESO.
And these fellows are on our
Who are these guys?
development team.
Hi. So I'm Rich Lambert. I'm the creative director on ESO.
I'm Mike Finnegan. I'm the dungeon lead for ESO.
I'm Brian Wheeler, combat and PvP lead.
Thank you for joining us.
And thank you, all of you, for joining us.
So
Here
this is
and
going to
online.
be the first time we're showing Elsweyr live. We're going through the zone. We're going to look at the Necromancer class.
Doing it live.
Doing it live. Looking at Sunspire Trial. So before we get started, we just kind of want to go through some housekeeping things. Reminder for anybody watching on Twitch right now, we do have Twitch drops enabled. Just make sure you link
This
to
is
your
for the
CMAT
previous
account
thing,
with your
guys,
Twitch
so...
account. For anyone on console, if you want to try and get, well, not try, it's guaranteed that you're going to get the clouded Sench Leopard pets.
Yep.
All you have to do is log into the game after the stream ends at 7:30 Eastern Time within 24 hours, and then we'll send that to you also.
Yep.
So
Log in within
exciting.
24 hours.
We're also doing raffles here at the event and on social. So at the event, we're going to be drawing for that console right after the stream ends.
Really
And
wish I
if
could
you're
beat
on
that.
social, check
Hey,
out
Irish.
Twitter and Instagram. We're giving away a console and
Press loud as the
Steel
video?
Series
Yeah,
headset,
probably.
which is really cool.
Lots of cool stuff.
Yes.
Yes. Also, there is a loot crate. If you guys
That should
have
be
heard of
better.
Loot Crate, there's a new Elder Scrolls one. It's available now. It's got some cool secret stuff in it, so check it out. And also, we have a store here. We have the Bethesda store here. There's also the Bethesda Gear store online, and we've got some of the cool stuff showing off here. Some Elsweyr Pilsner glasses and the Wrathstone tablet.
The actual
yeah.
Wrathstone,
Which
is,
is
come on.
Badass.
If you
Yes.
Kit Kat that bad boy, you're gonna open up dragons. That's what you're gonna do.
It's really cool. It's got magnets to keep it together. Just, don't put it together in your own home. Dragons might have
Beware of dragons. So we are doing hands-on here at the event at Bethesda Game Days. So anybody here can try Elsweyr, but for those of you who can't make it out, we will be showing Elsweyr live here. Reminder that you can pre-purchase this now, and you get items immediately after doing that, which is really cool.
And it's going to be out the
And also,
16th for PTS.
Before we jump in, sorry, I don't mean to talk over you. Just before we jump in and show
April
you things,
16th.
just want everybody to remember that this is very much a work in progress.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Mike.
We're not done. You're going to see
Pre-PTS.
some things that are going to look a little funky, textures, animations. You're probably going to hear some RoboVO as
Yeah.
well. Just know we're working on it.
Yes.
And
What do you mean?
should we dig in a
Where's
little bit?
Matt?
Well,
Before we do, but wait, I'm going to let you finish.
You can get a taste of this right now, in-game. The Prologue Quest is live, and we're
It
running
is.
a free play event right now. So even if you don't own the game, you can try it out free and play the Prologue Quest
Yep.
to get a really cool memento.
Yes.
Yes.
And it also
yep.
gives you some dailies, too, after you
Yes.
get finished, which is cool. Real quick, we had some really exciting news last
did.
night
That's
for
right.
ESO. So we were recently nominated for the GLAD Awards for A Quest in Somerset. We just found out last night that we won, and we were the first video
Yes.
game to win a GLAD Award.
It's pretty exciting.
Yes, yeah.
It's very
Super
humbling
awesome.
as well. You know, it's one of the things that we don't necessarily go out of our way to kind of show in our game. Like, people are just people in Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
And we try to, reflect that with everybody. But I do want to call out somebody special. She's here somewhere.
There she is.
The writer
She
who
wants
was
to raise her
responsible
hand.
for writing this is actually in the crowd here, Tori.
How do you explain that?
If everybody wants to give her a big hand, she did a fantastic job on
So
this.
right there. Award-winning ESO writer.
Yep.
Yes.
Story.
Award-winning.
Outed.
Congrats, Tori. So let us jump right into Elsweyr.
Let's go elsewhere.
Let's go elsewhere. So before we do that, I want to just quickly
After
kind of
this.
go and do
so
a little bit of a
anxious.
look back at kind of where we were last year, because it was really, it helped set the stage for this year. So last year was Somerset. We were actually on the stage talking
Allies
about it.
for
It was
LGBT.
focused
Yeah,
on
we-
the
QA.
High Elves.
Well, some of us were.
This is going to be a really long stream, isn't it?
I like that
Focused on
shield.
the High Elves. It was focused on their culture, and it was very high fantasy, high magic.
to change the world.
This does not support Bethesda. I don't. Why do we have this up here? Why is this here? Why is this video feature at PAX? This ad supports Bethesda. It does not support Bethesda any way, shape, or form. But yeah, they got that because of one of the quests in Somerset. It's a really nice quest. I like it. That I like too. Okay, let's get back to the show.
That wasn't the only thing we did, though. We had 2 dungeon DLCs.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, dungeons.
That's what happened. GG. Dragon Bones and Wolf Hunter, and then we finished the year off with Murkmire, which was a really cool, interesting story about the Argonians. And I think it's
You meant
probably
weird.
one of our
Weird.
Weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
cool.
They're
but
odd,
weird.
but
yeah.
they're cool. And I think it's some of our best storytelling to date.
Yes.
And one of the last year there wasn't kind of this cohesive theme. It was undead dragons and werewolves and elves and Argonians. And it was really difficult for players to kind of get in kind of that headspace. Well, where do I go? What do I do? What's the most important thing to do? And so that kind of led into this season of the dragon where we tell this one cohesive story. That wasn't the only reason we did it, but that was one of them. And this is one of my favorite things. This slide is, this shows all of the other things that we do outside of just shipping things and building on the game, is we get to go and talk to the players, you.
All of you guys.
It's something that we all adore.
Is it
It's
weird
something
that, like, here we are last year doing
I know.
and I'm the only one still in
This
shorts.
year we've mixed up, switched sides.
You wore pants, I mean.
I wore pants. It's great. It's great.
But it really does mean a lot to us. It's something that we really, really enjoy, is being able to spend time talking to the fans, something that, you know, we don't normally get to do. And without you all, we wouldn't get to do the things we do.
Yeah.
So, you know, thank you all. We do.
By the way,
very
how's
much
the sound
cherish
level?
it.
Not
said,
speaking
Rich.
over him
ESO
too much, right?
fam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm still speaking over him though.
But you all are actually here to see Elsweyr.
Yes.
No.
Sounds good.
Don't go
Good?
down that road.
Thank you guys.
So how about we jump in game and start showing off some things?
So this is live gameplay.
We'll be
Live
pausing it
gameplay.
when we see
Wheeler,
something, though.
when
Okay,
Wheeler
guys?
dies,
And it's doing
it's
stuff.
all his fault.
So Brian
I
is
die, it's
using a
my fault,
necromancer
yes.
right now in game. He'll be showing off combat a little bit later, but right now we're in an area called Stitches, right?
Yeah, this is
Stitches.
one of my favorite areas in the zone because it shows a very different biome. It's very vertical, and this
Maybe people
town,
falling off?
this kind of shanty town, is built in the cavern and through the scar, which is kind of in the center of the zone. So you get to see things a little differently than what you would see in some of the other areas. So it's these giant, deep cavern that you could actually jump off and fall to your death if you really wanted to.
Which people will.
No, don't do it.
The death number one. Do it alive.
Do it alive.
As if to prove the point.
But yes, you can jump off. Ta-da.
So Rich, why is it called Stitches?
So one of the ideas is that because it's kind of in the cavern, and there's all these bridges kind of stitching the cavern together, if you will. That's kind of an idea, or at least
It's
that's my
stitched
best
together.
guess. So let's go and look at some of the other biomes.
I was going to try to not fall this time.
You're gonna try not fall.
Try to not fall.
Look, he's played it before. He's blocking before he gets close to the edge.
So
These straps.
Elsewhere is a lot of desert, but there's other types of biomes, right?
Yeah. So this is more of the desert kind of rocky crag area, kind of like the Grand Cavern Canyon.
Okay.
This
Ooh,
is
GD
more
Temple.
of kind of the foresty area. This is
Oh,
the Temple of Two Moons, I
sweet.
think.
Yeah. It's two moons. Yep.
Two Moons
I
Temple.
want those for my
And
house.
One of the biggest kind of focal points of the Khajiit culture is on their spirituality. They're all about the different phases of the moon. All of their entire kind of race
Yeah.
is focused on this. You know, depending on the phases of the moon, that will basically make you a different type of Khajiit. So you see the base game kind of Khajiit, but there's also the Alfiq, who are a
Oh,
house
that's
cat.
fucking awesome right there.
Got an Alfiq fan.
Mischievous
All right.
magical mouse house
Yeah,
cats.
and we showed some of that off. We'll probably see some of that in here. Also, there's the big bulky Centrot, and then kind of
Who is
everything
that?
in between.
Those guys lift, bro.
They lift.
They lift.
They
Oh,
live
I like her.
They
but you-
skip leg day.
and then the bro cat.
They do. They totally skip like
Leg
that.
day.
But you kind of see in the architecture here and how old the culture is. Everything here is built out of stone. There's some wood, but it's more layers upon layers of stone and carvings and.
Is this
the
a house?
Khajiit And I mean, the beast races in general are some of the oldest races in Tamriel. So you're going to see a lot of that in exploring the zone. Mm-hmm. And then the last really quick one that we want to show off. This is
I'm laughing because somebody in chat was like, I heard Shimmer.
yeah, Shimmer's in there. Yep, that's really funny.
She's right there.
So this is Rimmon, and this is the capital city of northern Elsweyr. And as
She can see a
So
Centrot
blushing
coming up
right
right
now.
yeah, so
Here comes the Centrot, bro.
Here's the Centrot. He lifts.
Oh, that guy's beefy. Look at him. Oh. I told you he lifts.
Yep.
You get a,
We
now
can
you get a
talk to him?
Centrot for
Skip leg day.
the collector's edition, I think,
Yep.
right?
Yep. So that can be your mount.
That's a mount.
You can
actually
ride your
mount it.
own.
But you can talk to him.
Yeah, it's cool,
Yeah.
right?
That is a mount.
That is a
You also
mount.
get to
Yeah.
interact with them and talk to them as well. They do talk.
Yeah, they're
Yay.
sentient cats.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Sentient cat
one of
mounts.
the really cool things about walking around in this city and in this town is you get to see a lot
Talk to
of
him.
some of the inspiration and influences that we used from real world in here. So the Khajiit culture is influenced heavily by Indonesian, Thai, and Indian cultures. So a lot of the roof lines will have that very distinct feel. The
It's really
color
ornate.
palette is very, Asian.
Here's your crafting home.
There you go.
Yeah, this has a really nice crafting hub.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And, as Brian's kind of wandering around in here, you get to see that really cool, unique architecture. It's built up. This is another kind of vertical city. So as you progress more towards the middle, you get towards the palace. And at this point, when you come in, the Imperials have taken over Elsweyr. And so Euraxiatharn is actually in control of the city and has siege weapons pointed down in the residential areas, so nobody will try to overthrow her.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Chat's asking if you can zoom out, please.
Zoom out.
Zoom out.
More
Those
better.
are some really
More
cool
good.
statues.
There's the banners from.
There's the banner for
Yep.
Euraxia.
Oh
There
yeah.
might be a Euraxian banner, yep.
Gonna go burn that.
And there's some more of the nice, colorful look that Rich was talking about.
So are there going to be guild traders?
There are guild traders, yes. So like any kind of major hub,
Yeah.
there will be guild traders here. All the amenities that you need to kind of have this kind of central
Nothing new with the map.
base of operations, if you will.
How's
What's
it?
that?
Oh,
There's a house.
Sugar
Did
bowl
it say
suite.
Sugar Bowl Suite?
It did. You watch the game from there.
So that's kind of a quick overview and look at some of the biomes. But that's not all that this update has.
No.
Okay, what else do we got
So
here?
wanna
Dragons
see-
play a very large part.
Yes. I'm gonna hand
There
this
are
thing over to
dragons.
Mike here.
And
You're doing. Try.
Mike
Yeah,
is
I
going
know.
to take control now.
I am.
While he jumps to the new trial, Sunspire, I just want to, dragons are a huge, iconic creature in Elder Scrolls. And it's something that we've wanted to have in ESO for a very long time. And we're really excited that we get to
And
have
how do we
it
explain this?
in the game now. And this trial is all dragons.
All dragons.
All
All
the
the
time.
time.
And
Indeed.
you're going to get to
The
see...
bosses, at least.
The bosses.
The bosses. Yeah, the bosses. It's like fighting
You're not
100
going to fight like
dragons or
50
anything like
dragons
that.
at once. Yeah.
And
Just
you're gonna,
dragons.
you're gonna get to see a lot of really cool things in here, and I guess I'll hand it over to Mike and let him give us a guided tour.
Yeah, so what's the story here?
So the story of Sunspire is this is a temple dedicated to Alkosh, who
Not cast.
Alkosh,
we made this for Alkosh.
the dragon god of cats, who shouted down Whitestrake, Pelennia Whitestrake, and this is supposedly the place he did it. So even at the top of the trial, when you go to fight the final boss here, there's a remnant of that shout still here. So this temple was dedicated to Alkosh. So when the Halls of Colossus opened up, a dragon showed up here named Naventus, and he's golden, and he said, "I'm Alkosh," and they're like, Yeah, you look like Alkosh.
Go through the door. You'll
That
see.
sounds good. So this is As and Joe. He is your kind of like oblivious tour guide. He kind of leads you through there, shows you the tapestries as you kill the inhabitants, you know, as you do.
Okay,
so
Matt.
the size of this, what is it comparable to?
So we heard from the players.
Is it
a lot of players say, what?
Is it a full trial?
It is a full trial. Full trial.
As we say.
So we heard from the players that Mauve Lorcage a lot of times is everybody's favorite.
It's me, the replacer.
Don't care. Did Black Ops 3, 4, whatever the fuck it is, go away. Alright, so you're gonna see my face for a little bit because I don't want to give these guys any screen time. They can just... Oh, and Dr. Disrespect as well, really.
Play new content first on PS4.
Nope. This does not support
Favorite
Bethesda.
trial. And so when we went to the drawing board with this one, we wanted to take that knowledge and kind of model this around that. So there are 3 bosses in this trial. All of them are dragons.
Only 3?
There are pulls in between them. You have a progression where you have to fight 2 bosses and then the final boss.
Yeah, Bannerman and everything.
There's Bannerman in it.
Full on base pop. Bannerman.
All the base pop.
Yep.
So
This
Mike,
cool reveal. Hold on.
Hey,
there
man.
he is. That's Naventus.
Hi.
Wow.
Ooh, big
So he
dragon.
kind of looks like Alkosh, right?
He kind of looks like
Dragon.
Alkosh, right? That's why they believe him.
Does he do knock jokes?
Huh?
Oh.
He does not do. He's not
No.
a daddy.
Okay.
Doesn't do
Daddy.
dad jokes.
There he goes.
So he flies away. Basically, you come in here and he's like, "Who are these? Who are these peons?
That's a
Deal
nice,
with them."
Good way to call that one.
Did you make yourself so you won't be attacked?
He did.
Yes, I did.
So
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise,
we,
I'd be
we
dead.
are dev cheating right now.
Yeah. So you see these Centrot. These Centrot, you're actually going to get to fight in here. They like to pounce on you and kill you. Players that have ventured into Sunspire here recognize that really quickly. Yeah. This is a special door. This is the door that actually leads to Naventus. But if you
That's
see,
cool.
it has 2 symbols here. These are the 2 symbols of the other 2 dragons that Naventus called in here. Naventus called his 2 friends, Yolnacrin and Locestes.
YOLO.
And they came in as the
That's
avatars
actually
of
what we call
Jode
them,
and
by the way.
Joan.
What are your nicknames for him?
YOLO and Loki.
Yep.
And Navi.
And Navi?
And Navi from Naventus. That's exactly right. YOLO, Loki, and Navi. So I'm going to show you one of the cool...
He's cheating. You can't do
I
this on
am.
live,
Cheater.
just saying.
So hey,
So this is one
there's
of
some
the-
really cool statues in here. What's the story with all of those?
So there are 2 statues in here. Also, first I got to show you Fabio Centrat. Oh, look at that
Nice.
lovely
Look
mane.
at that hair.
So that's a
Cute.
Jode's Fire Fang. He uses fire-based abilities so that when you fight him, as you go down the path that leads to
Pretty sure you can do that.
Now
on
I'm saying YOLO.
Not quite. But
Yolnacrin.
Hey, Mike.
You get to him. There's these statues in here. There's this gold one, and then there's a silver one. These represent the two dragons that you're gonna fight. So
Mike.
this is the golden one
He's
for
totally
not
not.
kidding.
Yeah, he's just not even listening.
What?
Can you zoom out
No.
when you're done? When you're done looking at this.
He's in the
But
zone.
They just
we
everyone
like
wants
to
to
we
see
like
the
to put
full
some traps in here.
Don't fall.
So
Shimmer, you know where you're going.
A little bit of lava.
Is there a surprise down
This
there?
is a rather perilous place to fight right here.
Are there sweet rolls?
There might be a treasure chest or a sky shard down there.
There's a sky shard down there. Jump down there and find out. We'll put a troll chest down there just for everybody.
Chat's like, there's probably a sky shard down there.
For those who remember AA.
Oh, that treasure chest was glorious.
Yes, it was.
Oh, jeez.
We removed that.
I know.
It's not there anymore. So this is the path to Yolnacrin. I'm going to sprint here so you can get through here, see what it is. And then
YOLO,
you
go sprint.
exit.
Opens up.
And now you're on the outskirts of the temple. You can see the temple is rather large.
Big.
You can see actually the 3 places that you're going to fight dragons. Up there is where you see that time breach right there. That is the remnant of Alkosh's shout. And that's where you actually fight Naventus. That was where that door we saw leads to.
That's where the
Cool.
party
Double
is.
door with
The double
double
doors.
Yeah.
One of them.
One of them. As you go down here, you can look off to the side and you can see where you're going to fight Yolnacrin. It's a guided tour, folks. And if you look to your left,
You see Fabio again.
yeah, there's more Fabio Cinch. So there's Yolnakrin right there.
And you could jump.
Super angry. So this is the, when we first released the first screenshot for Sunspire, this was the dragon that you saw, and this was kind of the arena that you saw that people were fighting him in. So the dragons in the Overland do all kinds of cool things as you're fighting them. They're going to sit on the ground, they're going to jump up in the air, they're going to fly, they're going to strafe run. So for the dragons in the trial, we wanted to highlight those different aspects. So Yolnakrin, most of his attacks happen on the ground. You're going to fight him mainly on the ground and deal with ads that he summons in and whatnot. And each one, I think I said at the beginning, no, I didn't.
No, you
each
didn't.
of these bosses has their own hard mode. So you can activate the hard mode, and usually what that means is that bad boy up there in Navintus is going to come in and help his buddies.
Oh.
So you'll have to deal with his attacks as well as their attacks.
And they are very,
And you
very
can boop your
hard.
head.
They're very hard.
Boop.
That's why it's called
Boop the
hard
snoo.
mode.
Hey, Mike, as far as difficulty goes, how do these compare to some of the more recent DLC dungeons?
So the goal is to make them fairly hard. They're
Yeah.
dragons, so you got to be. But a lot like the latest dungeons that we've done, we want to gear these towards so the veteran is completable, and then the hard modes is really where we push the real difficult, the high end
next
difficulty.
dragon?
Up there is I'm
Okay,
gonna
so
jump there right
possibly
now.
easier than
And this is
God
the
rest.
arena for Locestis. You can see it from down there. You can see Yolnakrin down there. And here's Locestis.
Now, there's areas to fight like other mobs and bannermen
Absolutely.
in between.
So,
Mike is just kind of jumping around just to the
I am jumping
bosses.
around to these places. These two bosses, actually, you can fight in either order. You can either go to the right and fight Yolnakrin or go to the left and fight Locestis first. But in order to get to the Navintus fight, you have to defeat both of these dragons. And when this goes live, what we're going to do is, in order to do Navintus's hard mode, you have to first do Locestis's and Locestis, whatever. Loki's and Yolo's hard modes as well. So, but this
We're
guy's
gonna
pretty
have
cool
it-
looking. He's like a pug dragon.
Yep.
You know,
Got a
looks
little-
like he ran into one too many walls.
He's cute.
So he uses ice and storm magic, and he's going to do a lot more hovers and strafe attacks. He's going to hover off the side, shoot lightning all across the area. So he should be a pretty interesting challenge for some players. This is why you see the
Interesting
arena.
challenge.
Interesting challenge.
Yeah.
It's like when a doctor says there's going to be pressure.
This might sting a little.
This might sting a little.
I think we should have a dragon named Spelling Bee after this. Yeah?
Yeah, right?
Oh, God.
No, I can't even pronounce
I don't know that
them.
I'll get them right.
So is Loki, the one that you just showed, is it similar when you activate the hard mode that the other dragon comes in and helps also?
Yeah. They also augment their own abilities, but
these
then as
Meridian?
well, Navintus will come in and start playing hell with you. This is an idea of all four of the bannermen that we have in here. This is also the skin that you will get as a reward for doing veteran Sunspire. So you get this fire and ice skin. The extremities you'll see, you have like that fire.
Good for wardens or
and then the ice
Dragon
and
Knights,
the
I guess.
eyes. This is the armor sets that drop in here. So that's the
not
heavy.
the only reward we have in here, though, right?
That is not the only reward we have in here. So we heard the feedback from players that
Ooh,
said,
look at that relief in the middle.
you know, locking the cosmetics behind, you know, the hardest of the hardest difficulty. I want something for veteran, so that's why we've started to do the skins behind veteran. But for this trial, one cool thing that we were able to do, if you essentially close the book, which means you do every achievement in the trial, you will be awarded with a mount, a special, unique
Hey, Gun Melliver.
Sunspire mount, which is a cinch that looks like has this skin on it.
The
And we
Hey, Game
can-
Over, take some
we
comments.
can
Pretty
show
badass,
it.
yeah.
It is a pretty badass mount. But
We
you
can show
have
it
to
as soon as
do
we get out of this
the
trial,
hardest of the
so.
hard content. Also, I wanted to show off this just awesome
that's-
piece mosaic right here, which
That
is
is
like it
cool.
shows Alkosh holding like
An hourglass?
Hourglass.
Yeah.
I get it.
I kind of
You'll
want
get
this
there
in the
eventually.
house.
I'll get there eventually.
It takes time. to get to
It
the
takes time to
hourglass.
get to the hourglass.
You both suck.
So this is Navintus. He basically doesn't care about you. He's on his perch. But when you fight him, he's going to care about you. So that's the Sunspire trial in a nutshell. And if you have any questions, make sure to hit us up on
Tomorrow.
social and
Yeah.
whatnot, so
we
that we
have,
can ask those
we have a
questions
thread
tomorrow.
on the forums.
Okay,
If
can we
you have any
see
questions you want us
Necromancer
to
now,
consider
please?
for tomorrow's Q&A stream, it's going to be at 3:30. Just go ahead and post there. Or if you're here, you can just
Yeah, if
come
you're
ask
here
us,
and
yeah.
you want to
Come
ask
and
questions
ask.
when we're over by the booth, absolutely come and ask us.
So we looked at the biomes.
Okay.
We looked at dragons.
We looked at dragons.
Let me
Look at
hop back to
Sunspire.
show the
What
mount.
do we got
real quick.
left?
Well, the mount real quick.
Okay, so we got the mount. What do we got left? Oh, the necromancer.
Yeah, that thing.
We should probably show that off.
Oh, the necromancer.
Necromancer.
Yeah.
Want to see the
The
necromancer,
new
right?
class.
It's a new class.
The new skills.
While Wheeler's loading in here, I wanted to just briefly touch on some of the high-level goals for the necromancer, so everybody kind of gets an idea.
There's the mount.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah,
Pretty.
it's pretty awesome.
It's cool.
So some of the high-level goals for the
You
necromancer.
should move your head.
Yeah.
Move my head like that
There
way.
you go. There you go. Can you see?
You'll have some in there. High-level goals for the necromancer. One of the biggest things that we wanted to do was make this a unique class. We wanted to feel different, and we also
God damn it. Don't care. Go away. Does this really support the Bethesda? I don't think so.
that it fit Elder Scrolls lore.
Very
We're going
much
to put
had
the
feel like a-
romance in necromancer.
That's better than the bread and the breadmancer or whatever.
Very much.
So our necromancer, sorry, that's kind of an inside joke. Our necromancer, he is a little different than other necromancers. They are focused on the manipulation of mortal souls.
No pressure, Brian. Don't
I'm
die.
gonna-
Brian is in a
die,
public
Brian.
dungeon right now. And I'm
gonna
going to
get
talk
wrecked.
while he
It's a
he kills
public
little bit.
dungeon. Something's gonna get wrecked. That's all there is to it.
And with our necromancer, some of the things we wanted to do to make it feel different, make it feel part of the world, is we integrated into the justice system, where if you do overt necromantic actions in the world, specifically in towns, the guards are going to be called on you, and you
psych.
are going to probably not have
Look at the
best of
corpses.
times.
I still got to loot. I
Look
can't.
at the corpses.
So what
I'm the
kind
same
of
way.
activities?
So we say overt, but basically, if you're flaunting that you were a necromancer,
wait,
Wheeler,
right.
has got it here. So
Stalking Bone Blast. Instant enemy. Criminal act. Summon a flaming skeleton from the ground for 2.5 seconds. The skeleton runs it to a target and explodes when it gets closer to him, dealing 8,000 flame damage to all enemies nearby. Every second this skeleton spends chasing its target, increases the damage of the explosion by 10%, with a maximum increase of 70%. Increase corpse upon death. So potentially in PvP, this is going to go up another 70% on top of that flame damage. So it's actually better to take it before than after.
one of the things we did on all of the abilities that cause this is we put a tooltip on there telling you this is a criminal act.
Skeletal Archer. Unearth the Skeletal Archer from the dirt to fight by your side for 16 seconds. The Archer attacks the closest enemy with 2 seconds, dealing 713 physical damage. Well, if it's anything like the Sorcerer, then these are going to be taken from the base characters thing here. So, like the physical damage here, yeah, it's also stamina. So it's probably going to scale up if you have more stamina-based stuff. Each time the Archer deals damage, the next attack is 10% more damage than the previous attack. Okay, so yeah, it's a low start, but then every 2 seconds for 16 seconds, so it's going to be 8 seconds, so 80% boost.
So if you're
Right.
summoning undead, that's a good sign that
Stalking Bone Blast. Summon a flaming skeleton. Oh no, that's the same one we saw before.
you're a
Bad
necromancer.
thing.
If you're
Probably not
turning
good
into
to do while you're shopping.
yeah,
Right.
if you're turning into the Bone Goliath, you probably are a
Right,
necromancer.
right.
Pummeling Goliath. Become a destructive Pummeling Goliath. Increase your max health by 30,000 for 20 seconds and immediately restoring 30,000 health. When transformed, your light attacks restore 2,640 health, and your fully charged heavy attacks restore 5,280 health. While transformed, your bash attacks can hit multiple targets in front of you for dealing dealing 2,608 physical damage. That'll get nerfed. We'll see. Can you imagine though? God damn it! What is it? The Knights Errant set? I'm pretty sure the one that like does Oblivion damage based on like 4% of the person's health. I'm pretty sure it's like 4% of the person's health there. So like using that ability just makes that other set like just that much more stronger, right? Still, it's a freaking you become a freaking tank.
Right.
I can do that real quick.
You probably is that going to be a new thing? You probably are a necromancer.
There you go. There's the ultimate.
If
That's
you're
one of the
summoning
tanking
skeletons,
ones.
you probably are a necromancer.
So we really wanted to focus on the lore and story and make sure it fits in the world, but we also wanted to make sure that the necromancer felt unique. And the way we did that was
Grave robber.
pets are different.
build
They're
your
not
ultimate again.
sorcerer pets that are undead.
Don't forget your ultimates.
They are minions. They are kind of beneath the necromancer, and so you summon your pet up and you tell it to do something, and it just does that until it falls
Right.
apart.
Yeah, here's a temporary pet right here. This little spirit mender who will follow you around and heal you if you're damaged. We made sure that you just couldn't summon stuff over and over and over to get a corpse out of it. So a pet has to live for about 50% or so of its lifetime before it generates a corpse.
Well, I mean, that's actually an interesting aspect because I've heard other people say when they come over and talk to us about it is, you don't. This class doesn't require you to kill a bunch of things to get corpses. Corpses power up abilities, but your own guys will drop corpses. So you can generate your own corpses to
Yeah, and
to
that ties
power
in
your abilities
really nicely
Yeah.
into the make it feel unique.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the necromancer is
Okay,
all about
kinda cool.
positional gameplay. We're reinforcing that with corpses. So you have abilities that generate corpses. You got to see a pet. There's some other abilities that do this. And then you also have
Tombstones.
abilities that consume corpses.
Yep.
And when you consume those
There's a tether.
corpses,
There's the tether.
there's a
yeah.
tether. When you consume those corpses, your abilities do something a
You're
little
gonna die.
different. They become empowered. So your
You
healing
want me to die so bad.
your healing abilities, you know, that you drop on the corpses will do a little bit more healing or add a hot on there. Your damage abilities will do more damage. And so you're constantly looking at
Braided tether. Siphon the last remnants of of life from a corpse, healing 17,952 health over 12 seconds to yourself and allies around you, and all allies between you and the corpse. Icky, hey, thanks for the subscription, man. Hey, my man. But yeah, this is a little weird here. That doesn't have like that doesn't have a limit to how many people it can heal. That's going to be overpowered right there. Like currently, most healing abilities you can only heal so many people.
you and your target, but also where the next corpse is and how you can move your target towards that.
Now, when you were just showing off some of the skills, are these pretty much final and locked in, the necromancer skills?
There's still some tweaking we're doing with these. A lot of the skills we're showing off here, they haven't been balance passed yet.
Right.
So
So
they're
some of the
in, they're
numbers might
functional, they work.
change. Yeah.
Yeah, like we made sure the effects work, so they look how they should look. They play how they should play, but the balance numbers we're still working on.
Yeah.
And this is an older build, and so there's actually some changes that we've made on our dev server that haven't made it to this build yet as well.
And we'll be taking feedback during the PTS phase too.
Yeah. And might not make
shit.
it.
You know, more than you could chew.
He's using that scythe. Oh, he's got a boss.
Oh, he's got a tether too.
No pressure.
Oh, just, you know what, guys?
No
You just want me to die so bad.
No, brother.
We went,
Still
so
got
that's
a
why
pot.
you need to
He's
get
still
that
got a pot.
ulti.
Tether,
He's still
just
got
in
a
case
pot.
you're
He's
curious.
good.
Get that ulti. Get that ulti.
Grave
Oh,
robber.
you want this?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh,
Flesh go
Nice.
So that's one of the ultimates.
Let's
That's
go.
one of the
That's
ultimates.
the other one.
Flesh go
So yeah,
on.
the ultimate we saw before was this guy where you turn into
Yep. Sorry.
a big hulking Goliath. The
Does
other
it
one
say
is
how long that?
Glacial Colossus. Unleash a frostbitten flesh colossus to pulverize your enemies in an area. The colossus will smash the ground 3 times, dealing 7,276 frost damage for each smash. That's a little weird. We have fire damage and ice damage. Okay. The final smash stuns all enemies that it hits for 4 seconds. Each smash applies minor vulnerability to the enemy for 3 seconds, increasing their damage taken by 30%. No, major vulnerability. There's nothing in the game that I can think of that does major vulnerability right now. So yeah, this is one thing people are going to want for trials. Smash the ground for 3 times. Doesn't tell you how long between each smash, does it? This duration is 2 seconds, so it's got to be less than 2 seconds, right? For 3 smashes, maybe. Interesting. But yeah, this is major vulnerability. The first time I've seen anything that has major vulnerability. I don't think there's anything else out there currently that does major vulnerability. Let me double check that real quick. Yep. Okay, there's minor vulnerability, which you can do through various things here, through poisons, potions, etc. Infallible mage, wise mage, or scavenging demise. But there's nothing that does major at this point here. So that is something that's definitely going to be either added to something or something else there.
It lasts.
Huh?
Sorry, I can't see over there. Does it
Why
say
not?
how long it lasts?
Which
the
one?
Goliath?
The Goliath?
It's
The
30
Goliath?
seconds, I think.
Yeah.
20 on.
20 seconds
20
as
seconds.
Sorry, am
a
I in
big
the
guy.
way?
There you go.
Yep.
And it's
Move
really,
out of the way.
I mean, you're there. Why don't you go through kind of the lines and the idea
Yes,
behind
please.
Sure. Well, getting back to one of the things we wanted to do with the class is take some lessons learned from Warden. One of the basic lessons from that was simply organizing the skill lines a little bit more cleanly, so people understand this is sort of the DPS line, this is the tanking line, this is the healing line. That sort of made it really easy for people to grok what the basics of all the skills were. There's still some damaging abilities within each of
Scythe. Slice your enemy's life force, dealing 3,637 magic damage. You heal for 25% of your max health for the first enemy hit, and then an additional 3% of your magicka health for each additional enemy hit for 5 additional enemies. After dealing damage, you heal for an additional 10% of your max health over 5 seconds. You heal for 25% of your max health for the first enemy hit, an additional 3% of your max health for each additional enemy hit up to 5. So 15% plus 25% there. So you're looking at some numbers. 40% for hitting 6 enemies. Yeah, 6 enemies. You're getting a 40% heal for doing this. I feel like these are going to be need some heavy reworks before live. Well, they said they got them working how they expect them to. Though this ability, I don't think is going to be that great. Take a look at Green Dragon Blood, which heals you just for using it once when you're low health, based on like 40% of your missing health. This is healing you 40% of your max health based on the enemies in front of you. I don't know if it's going to be that great or not. And after you deal damage, you heal for an additional 10% of your max health over time. So 40%, then 50% over 5 seconds. Really not that great, to be honest. Age of Mending might help.
Of those lines are some healing abilities that cross over. But for the most part, this is your damage line, healing line, tanking line.
Then heal, yeah.
One of the other major things we learned was that people
I'm going to go back here a minute.
tanking line.
Then heal, yeah.
One of the other major things we learned was that people
Ricochet Skull. Lob an explosive skull at an enemy, dealing 4,510 flame damage. Every third cast's ability deals 20% increased damage and will bounce up to 2 other nearby enemies. Okay. Interesting. PvP is going to be interesting with some of these, I think.
People really like...
Damn it. Missed it.
Well, getting back to one of the things we wanted to do with the class is take some lessons learned from Warden. One of the basic lessons from that was simple line, tank line.
And then heal, yeah.
One of the other major things we learned was that people really
Stalking Bone Blast, Summon Skeleton from the ground. Okay, yeah, I saw that one. Avid Boneyard. Desecrate the ground at the target location, dealing 15,000 frost damage over 10 seconds. Consumes a corpse on cast to deal 20% more damage. Your ally standing in the graveyard can activate Grave Robbery synergy, dealing an additional 7,043 frost damage to enemies in the area and healing you for the damage done. So they activate the synergy, they do the damage, but you get the heals. It'd be very interesting dueling with like 2 necromancers, I think.
Stamina morphs. So
Stamina, yep.
Right now, this class is pretty much set up as Magicka. Somebody wanted to see a stamina morph earlier, so this is a skeletal archer, but you could have it be something else, which is a little mage that follows you around and shoots lightning bolts at something and does some area damage. So again, one of the focuses we wanted to deal with is the fact that as a class, you kind of want to be that class and feel like that class, so a lot of the necro abilities can be morphed for stamina or mag.
That's where the identity comes from.
Yeah, a lot of feedback we got from people that have played it so far is they run out of room on their bar. They're like, I want to fill the bar with all necro abilities.
Yeah.
And that's really, really good. It's really cool, and we like that aspect. I can probably get a respecs roll real quick and show real fast just the concept.
Some of the different morphs. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, just how fast.
Yes, please.
Like how much these have changed in terms of. Oh. I changed something there wrong. I should have done that.
What are you wearing?
I'm gonna respect. What am I wearing? This is the necro costume.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? Not you.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing?
This is Runa Scythe. Slice your enemy's life force, dealing 1,867 physical damage. Your enemy's damage should be enemies damaged by you receive 2,000 heal absorption for 2 seconds, negating healing they receive. Oh shit. So remember that set that everyone was complaining about in Murkmire? They've now made it a class. So this is probably how they're going to deal with healers in PvP now. They're gonna have this heal absorption in there, so they can do like less damage, but they also will stop you from healing up stuff as well, unless you purify. You heal for 20%, 25% your max health for the first enemy you hit, an additional 3% of your max health. Yep.
So there's shit.
Everything respawned. There you go.
I'm cheating real quick. So there you can see Magicka morph, stamina morph. The damage for it as stamina is more physical disease based, whereas the magic stuff is more based on cold and
fire.
I think magic just straight up.
Damage,
Yeah, their theme is sort of what destruction.
Illusion
and
conjuration.
A little bit of conjuration, just a little bit.
When you were designing the class, did you
Beckoning armor. Wrap yourself in hardened bone, granting your major resolve and major ward. Okay, so it's just like was it spiked armor for DKs? While active, your enemies strike you with ranged abilities will be pulled toward you once every 3 seconds. So they basically made this an auto chain ability, the same as like the Celine's web, or not Celine's web. the spider boss in Dark Shade. No, not Dark Shade. God damn it. I'm trying to remember what that is. I'll remember it later. It's one of the ones up in Glenumbra. Creates a corpse when the effect completes. Okay.
Take those schools of magic.
Summon his armor. Wrap yourself in hardened bone. Give you that. When activated, reduce the cost of bone blast, blast bones, skeleton mage, and spiritual surrender by 12%. Okay.
Magic in mind when you were creating the different colors and the animations and the VFX.
Yeah, a lot of the care and trying to.
Dead in pain. Sap to linger in life for refreshed corpses, healing you for 2,970 health, an additional 1,893 health per additional corpse. Yeah, bigger. Each corpse you consume grants you major protection for 1 second, enhancing your reducing the damage you take by 30%. The health over this is really not that great, but the corpses, the major protection can be really good. Wonder how many corpses you can get in an area.
Figure out how to call back. Yep. Oh, what, the pet in my face? The callback to Elder Scrolls. That gets to Rich's first point. Like,
yeah,
keeping it Elder Scrolls theme, keeping it very much in line with stuff that people recognize. So that was very important.
And at the same time, also made
necrotic potency. Each corpse consumed will give you 5 ultimate. Ooh, both those are good. That's actually a pretty good
for the class too. So that while we kind of harken back to those colors, we also want the class to get unified so it doesn't fire.
Venom Skull, that's gonna be the stamina. Lob an explosive skull to do poison damage. Every third cast, they said it was gonna be. This is not disease damage. This is poison damage. But they gotta get this straight here, guys. The reason the reason it's important they get this straight though is because disease gives major defile with the effect it gives, so it will also reduce healing that the person can take, versus poison, which is just straight up damage. In addition to that, there's sets that specifically raise up poison damage, not necessarily disease damage. So they got to be a little bit more careful about what they say there. Hopefully they get this streamlined enough it's only one, because having to split between magic, like fire magic and ice, that's going to be an issue. Silks of the Sun, for example, raises up all fire damage. It won't raise up anything that's ice. There's other ice sets that will also raise up all frost damage, but of course won't raise up any fire. So it's going to be interesting to see how they balance that out a little bit better. Every third cast deals an additional 20% increased damage. Okay, yeah. When slotted, cast any necromancer ability while you're in combat will count towards the third cast. Oh, okay, interesting. So this 20% ability here can be boosted up like that. So it's kind of like crystal shards in a way.
Fire, red ability, and then a pink ability or an orange.
That's why we do a lot of the pose studies as well. Like at the initial announce stream, we showed the concept page of all of the poses.
Yep.
And the animators especially think a lot about feel with the necromancer, and so a lot of the abilities and movements and whatnot are all focused around summoning and doing those kinds of things.
Yeah. And then when you do some more that are like more regular for the magical type stuff, a lot of the necro stuff is blue, but then for the poison morse or for the disease stuff, we went more green with like the disease spell fire.
Yep.
And I just want to reiterate the numbers that people are seeing. Subject to be tweaked.
Yeah,
not everything is final.
That's the Stalking Blow Blast. Yeah, we saw that before.
Subject to change.
Blighted Bone Blast. So this is a stamina ability. They're putting stamina magic dichotomy in this pretty good, I think. Considering the dragons are skin mounts and Sunspire, I assume that they want to do something either for those skills, like fire and ice and poison disease. I guess. It's just like splitting it off between that really hurts trying to min-max it, you know? Unless you're gonna go full poison or full ice or full fire. So Blighted Bone Blast here. Summon a decaying skeleton from the ground for after 2.5 seconds. So it has a delay before this actually goes off. The skeleton runs around it after the target explodes when they get to him, dealing 3k or 37 or 3.7k disease damage to all enemies nearby and applies a major defile on them for 5 seconds, reducing the heal they received in healing recovery by 30%. Also creates a corpse. Alright, sounds pretty good. That's a pretty good PvP ability.
Still in development.
Numbers,
Work in progress.
duration.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Makes
again, this
sense.
is sort of showing
Yeah.
how
I can get behind that, but like I said, they should hopefully have enough in both lines that they can like support like a full poison necro or a full disease necro. I hope.
many stamina morphs exist.
Exploding Mage. Unearth the skeleton mage from the dirt to fight by your side for 16 seconds. The mage attacks the closest enemy for 2 seconds, dealing 1,455 shock damage. Okay, so now they're in all 3 tiers. If the mage lasts the full duration that it explodes, it deals 2,534 shock damage to enemies around it. Here's a corpse.
On this character, how important that was to us to keep that identity of the Necro.
Yep.
So
then
how
here's sort of the last
long?
one.
It's Siphon. Violently drain the last spark of life from a corpse, dealing 19k shock damage over 12 seconds to all enemies around that corpse and between you and the corpse. You also restore 2,880 magicka to over 12 seconds when siphoning the corpse.
How long have we worked?
Detonate Siphon. Violently draw the last spark of life from your corpse, dealing 9,000 disease damage over 12 seconds and all enemies around it. If the siphon lasts a full duration, it causes the corpse to explode, dealing an additional 1,807 disease damage to all enemies around that corpse. Really not that great for the stamina ability there. Yeah, the damage is reduced because they're a Magicka build right now, but that's still not really great in the ratio numbers. That's like only like a tenth of that. Oh, not a tenth of that so much. It's just significantly less though.
On the Necromancer class.
I mean, technically, I guess since
Over a year.
well, if you want to be technical,
But actively working
Yeah.
on this class.
Yeah.
We had outside of what we were saying.
hearing people since data say we want Necro, we want Necro, we want
But
Necro.
actively working on what we would call the Necromancer now over a year.
So that's how long it takes to make a class. So when people are like, you can just add another class,
Yeah,
it's
right?
easy.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, we
Just
just,
add a class tomorrow.
make
Just
one
do
in a
it.
heartbeat.
Does this really support Bethesda? I don't think it does, guys. Mm-hmm. Yep, sure.
No, it's interesting because the Necromancer class in player polls has come up as the most asked about class, I think, since launch.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So we were
in
super
beta.
excited to get it in.
I remember
yeah.
in beta, people are like, "Where the hell is the
Where's my
Necromancer?"
Necro?
Like, so, there you go. We got the Necromancer.
Yep. One of the other important things that we've been hearing over and over regarding like animations, we wanted to make the class feel snappy. So a lot of the animations are pretty quick. The hits happen within the first couple frames of doing
It's
it.
really easy to weave
Oh,
with this
76,
class.
yeah.
Really easy
Well,
to get,
not Zos, but those
attack
Bethesda.
canceling and stuff in on this
Yeah.
class. Yeah.
So where are you right
Dallas
now,
has it,
Brian?
This is called
Like not in
Ribbon
Boston,
Necropolis.
but in the
Ribbon
game.
Necropolis.
ribbon.
He's in Boston.
Where are you?
In the laugh,
He's on the stage.
and we're all a bunch of jerks.
He's to your right, Gina. He's to your right.
This is Ribbon Necropolis, which is a
Yeah,
public
public
dungeon.
dungeon.
Designer map.
Oh, look at
check out
that.
that map.
Whoa,
tap
progress.
map, tap
But it's
map.
over here, in case you were curious. Yeah, it's a pretty big public dungeon. There's some.
He's to your right.
Side of what Wheeler's saying.
He's to your right, Gina. He's to your right.
This is Ribbon Necropolis, which is a public.
Player house. We have a player house up here as well. Another player house up here. So we're getting 3 different houses here. Trial. Kind of nice.
Public dungeon.
Designer map.
Oh, check out that
Designer map.
map.
Whoa,
tap
progress.
map, tap
But it's
map.
over here, in case you were curious.
Anyway,
it's
I
a
think there's 2 houses. I
pretty
think one
big
was a
public
town.
dungeon. There's some big bads in here.
Yep.
You'll see some NPCs fighting each other up ahead. I don't want to do this place disjustice by running up and just wiping because
We actually may
can't
not play
solo,
ESO tonight, guys.
dungeon boss with a class like
I'm
this.
way too involved in this.
But I mean,
Yeah, I think you're still non, aren't you, you cheater?
I mean,
no,
You're
I'm not.
cheating.
if you die as a necromancer,
No, I'm
doesn't
not
that
cheating.
like,
Look, they're hitting me.
just like
they're hitting
feel
me.
good, right?
I'll bring up the big boy again. You guys seem to like
There
that
you
guy,
go.
so
Nice.
I think it's so awesome.
Love it.
It is really cool. I'm probably gonna die here real soon, but whatever.
You got a pot.
You
You're
can
good.
do it.
We got time. He is, so this is the case where I got a healing tether that will heal people in the line as well as around me.
Cool.
But that's one of the morphs. The other morph will give you stamina. So sort of
That's
unofficial
going to lag in
morph
PvP.
because-
Daedros. Shades of VMA.
Yeah.
They updated the
They're
Jade
not
drop thing
crematorium
a little
dolls or
bit, didn't
whatever,
they?
though.
And that's the damage tether, so it's damaging him, and right now he's asleep or something. Anyway,
If people walk into that tether, do they get damaged too?
yes. Yeah,
Really?
so-
Nice.
I didn't
That's
know
a damage
that.
tether.
So you
Yeah.
can like run circles.
Yep. Yeah. That is one of the bits of feedback we actually
What the
got
hell?
There's a guy
when
that
we
showed up.
Oh,
when we
that-
first
the
started
champion.
testing it
shit.
out.
The champion of kicking Brian's butt.
Yeah,
That is.
With
that's
those
gonna happen.
with those tethers, when we first tested it out, it didn't have that area around them, and so a lot of the feedback we were getting is
It's tough.
it was tough to make the tethers work for you because all the corpses you were dropping were like in front of the monster.
Yeah, yeah.
So you would tether and then you have to run around behind the monster. So
I
we
don't
did
have
some
food.
adjustments and changes.
Shit. I just realized
Dodge
the usual
rolling.
faux pas. You don't have food. Get your food buff.
No food. Rip.
I'm gonna die to this. That's all there is to it.
I don't think you're gonna.
Yeah, right.
When I just
Sit in.
teleport strikes like that, you're just done. You cannot necro res yourself, by the
That
way.
was a good effort.
It was.
But anyway, so that's
We'll give
necro
you
in a
an A for
nutshell.
effort.
In a
We'll give you an A
nutshell,
for
yeah.
We only got to look at a
Get
few
your hands
abilities
on
there.
here.
It is, and it is a very different feeling class, and that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. Is
Yeah.
it just feels different.
Yes, it's got that cool feel of summoning undead, but not like
It's
Thriller.
not. It's not
Not
a
thriller,
necro with
you know?
that, or it's not a
Right.
sorcerer with
It's
It
not
just
mummy,
works,
you
yeah.
get
You get to just play it.
This has a lot of
Like
burst
that was
to
one
it,
of the
too.
bits of feedback we got from the warden. Is you had to kind of micromanage your buffs. You were constantly buffing and rebuffing and juggling buffs. And the necromancer isn't that.
Yeah,
It's a little different. Did you not see that earlier?
that was shimmering again.
Still looks so good.
So what else is coming out?
So we also have base game changes
Base game
that we're
changes.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Free
So
update
Okay.
22.
yeah. So we actually
We've done
have.
22 updates.
I know, isn't that crazy?
22 updates. Oh,
Guild
2
Finder.
updates.
Man,
Well, this is 20.
This is the 22nd.
coming. Yeah.
yeah.
But Guild Finder is a big new feature for this update. And what this does, and I'm just going to kind of go through some of these and
I'm a
talk
little
through-
worried the
what
abuse that
does
this
is
is gonna have,
allows
Vice.
both guilds and players not in guilds a way to kind of sync up and join each other. So these
This
are
is
the
gonna be
console
abused, probably.
versions of the Guild Finder. And one of the things as a guild that you're allowed to do is
That guild is the best, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Guild.
you should have seen it before we got rid of the really naughty ones. 'cause
Yeah, right.
We're testing things and people.
All right, just let me talk a little bit here. I have major concerns with this guild finder system and the way it's going to be abused. The thing that bothers me on this is right now, I know that there has been exploitive guilds out there, specifically trading guilds, that will basically bought up like an additional 100, 200 people and then take all the money and either leave or they'll simply kick out everyone and then just start inviting new people. Yeah, this is not going to help trading guilds. It's going to be really bad. Now, from what I understand, they'll get into this here, but you can set up your own thing to have people come in, or you can set yourself up to be invited. And I'm also worried about the players who are going to be exploited by this. They're looking for a trade guild. They see like, oh yeah, this has like an active 499 members. They're going to put their stuff up for sale, and then maybe they have to have a buy-in to get in or something like that, and that money is gone when they choose to just kick them out. Or maybe they have a high tax and they don't tell them or high tariff when they put their stuff on the market there. They don't tell them, and they let people sell until somebody realizes, oh, I'm not getting the money I should, and then they kick them out. I have real concerns with the way this is going to be handled here, and I think they're going to have possible customer service issues with some of this as well. But we'll see. I mean, it is good that they're going to give ways to people who can find guilds easier, but the easier it is to find guilds, the more it opens up the quick scammer to exploit it too. So that's one major concern I'd have with this.
We'll make naughty names, but
How do you pronounce that one, Rich? Go ahead.
but this allows guilds
Like, no.
to. I'm just thinking of the really nasty names that
Oh, jeez.
allows you to tag your guild with various things. So trading guilds, PvP guilds, RP guilds, all that. Do I have a trade or do we not? You know, we're looking for people in this time zone versus this time zone. It lets you do a whole bunch of things and all right within the game. And then as somebody who's not in a guild, you can go search for the things, find a guild that meets your criteria, and apply to it directly within there. And that will then allow you to enter a short message, and then the guild can go in and inside the tool again can accept that application.
List. Yep,
So this is the PC version of the UI, just to kind of show some of the things you can do when you are getting into advertising
Justice.
your guild. And so I
Fishing,
touched on a lot
role-playing.
of those types of things, but there's play styles, there's looking for roles.
And your play
CP.
style, it can be like more casual or hardcore,
Absolutely.
things in between, so you can define that yourself. And also guilds can define
actually,
what sort
they
of
need
guild
I'm going to
they
hit
are.
the back button, guys. I'm sorry. Just really quick on this one here. So in there, you notice there's a section for the guild listing.
So trading, PvP. Okay, yeah. Dungeons, trials. Yep. Housing. Okay. Questing. Okay. Role playing. I guess. Yeah, definitely. Crafting. Sure. Fishing. Uh-huh. Justice. Yeah. Where is social? Where's social? That kind of bothers me. Balanced. Primary focus trading. Secondary focus PvP. Those two right there, right?
There's applications, and then there's this concept of blacklist. So this is a thing that we got a lot of feedback on.
Yeah.
You're never allowed in
What are
any
you
guilds
pointing
anymore.
at me for?
But basically
I
what this
haven't been
allows people to
blacklisted.
do is
Primary
you
and
can
secondary
blacklist
options?
somebody from ever kind of joining in your guild,
Well, no, they have trading and PvP. Right? These are additional activities, but I'm looking for social. Right? Just people that are social. Not necessarily doing all this other stuff here, right? Because the way that you typically ask for a guild is like, is it social? Is it that's like one of the things, like social, casual, questing. It's pull down menus, yes, but I think the pull down menus here are part of the additional, aren't they?
Guild leaders have said a number of times, I kick somebody because they're
Because look, trading, PvP, PvP. So is this all the options they're giving me for the pull down?
a Yahoo or whatever, and then
They're
That's
a
what I
Yahoo.
call them.
I was going to say something else, but it
I kicked
changed in
somebody.
my head.
Nobody says I kicked somebody because they were a Yahoo.
Is asshole better?
There you go.
Okay,
there you go. Rated M for
And-
mature.
You know, a day later or a week later, they're back in the guild because there's so many different people managing the guild.
Yeah.
So the blacklist allows you to blacklist an account, and they can't ever be invited to your guild.
Also, where's the ERP? Come on, we're an MA game, right? We should have the ERP option. Maybe that's fishing. All the ERP guilds fishing.
Again.
People
This is
looking
awesome.
for tuna.
This is a really huge feature for new players, maybe players who aren't in a guild yet.
It's
Takes
especially
all the
good for
guild
You can't see it's blacked out.
chatter
Maybe.
out of
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna be testing
And
this on
it just
PTS.
gives, like right now, the way you join guilds is via zones.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Or
okay.
you go on the forums, or you
Here we go. Browsing guilds, trading, group PvE, role playing, social. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Thank you. PvP, questing, crafting. Yeah, why don't you see these though on the additionals? I didn't see social there. I didn't see group PvE there.
go to
You have to
Reddit
go
or
out of the
whatnot.
game.
You have to go out
so
of the
this
game.
is all in game.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody in chat asking, "What's Gil Finder?" I think that was
That's
just
the
character.
name
That
of
was
the
the character name. Gil is
Guild.
Sauce.
So this is an example of what somebody who's not in a guild can do. You know, when they're searching for the guilds, they can go out and
As
they can
trader.
enter the criteria, and then that list gets filtered based on that search criterion. So really robust, really awesome tool. We think it's going to add a ton of people into guilds now and social-wise.
Uninvite Rich.
We did say work in progress, so there's some temp icons in here, but this screenshot shows another new feature that we added as a part of this. And what those two kind of question mark icons are, those are people that have been sent guild invites but haven't been accepted yet. And they will always show at the bottom of the roster.
Yep.
What
Okay,
this
good,
does is
good.
it allows people to know how close they are to the cap. One of the things that I'm a little bit ashamed to mention, and I probably shouldn't, but right now when you go past the invite cap, it just removes the oldest invite. It doesn't tell anybody. And so that invite is gone, and so you can keep adding things. So this just cleans all of this up. It
This
removes
would be
all
nice.
the
This
weirdness
would be much nicer.
and lets the
So if I
guild
invite
manage
somebody to the
themselves,
wrong
which is really
guild,
important.
I
So
can
I saw
remove
two
that invite.
questions. I just wanted to address.
Which I've done
quickly.
before.
If somebody were to do an account name change, the way we've set
Yep.
it up on the back end is if they're blacklisted, they're still going to be blacklisted.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Yay!
And also the time zones. People were asking what time zone is it when they're putting in their preferred times, and I think it's whatever.
It's local
is on
to
your
you.
computer. Yeah.
So,
So
you
it
know,
auto adjusts.
it automatically knows based on your computer clock, you know,
That's
the
cool.
time zone.
Yep. So as far as letting people into the guild, accepting the applicants, is that something that the guild leader can set permissions to
Yep.
let different people in the guild do it?
Yep.
That's cool.
But there's more.
There's more.
So we don't have any fancy screenshots for these things because they're kind of hard to show. So I
Okay.
think we're just going to talk.
I can't believe it.
That there's a lobster in our hot tub?
Oh, you guys.
This really doesn't support Bethesda, and it's a little creepy, isn't it? God damn you, Geico.
Bit more of that stuff. So another new feature is this concept of, I want to say alternate character boosters, but it's really not that. We implemented a system that makes playing alts a little bit easier. And this particular part is focused on sky shards. And one of the bits of feedback that, I see some gasps back there.
Somebody's doing a happy dance.
Yeah.
So the best way to explain it is if you go and complete a sky shard achievement on a character, say you are the Glenumbra sky shard hunter, that will allow, or it will unlock the ability for you to purchase that achievement or those sky shards on alternate characters. So you have to have done it once. So there's no kind of, pay to win in there,
Yeah.
right? Like you've done the content before.
It's just saving you time.
It's saving you time and allows you to kind of do that. And that's, one of the bits of feedback we get a lot from players is,
Yeah.
I've done everything. I want to start alternate characters. I want to play them, but I really don't want to go and have to hunt down all these sky shards
Yeah.
again to make my build.
It
So
is a fair
this will make it a
fair
little
complaint, I think, but
Yes. Thank
it's
God.
going to cause a rift between people.
Definitely.
I have 1350s. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we discussed this in ad nauseum in Discord as well. Except you need to do it on a different content because it's on a different character. I know. I take it both ways on this. I understand it's not. I understand that people are going to have issues with this regardless because people are speeding up the way that they're getting to their stuff there. But at the same time, if you're a PvP player, you just want to go out into Cyrodiil and kill things. You don't want to have to go around PvE getting all those skill points. And I kind of understand that. So I don't really have a good answer for it. I think it's not that big of a deal. Other people do. I think that this is going to go by because I think a majority of the players like it, but I do see that some people are going to think it's a pay-to-win issue. And I don't really have an answer for them except to say difference of opinions. Yeah. And it's going to be like that for a lot of people on that. But is this something I'm happy with? I'm happy with the fact that it's an option. I won't necessarily buy it because I don't think the way he explained it is going to be cheap. Because it sounds like, okay, now I have to go and purchase the number of Skyshard Hunter and probably pay for like 2,000 crowns to get that done on a single character. That, if it's an exorbitant amount, there's no reason for me to get into it. And a lot of people would then definitely complain about it. If it's cheap, even if it's 1 crown to do it, people are going to complain though. I think another way they could handle this is, again, they could make it so Skyshards are simply account based and do it across all of them. But ZOS doesn't get its pound of flesh. It doesn't get money for doing that. And they want to keep people in the game playing, or if they're only going to be doing it for a short while and they want a quick, go, then they don't want to have to bother with it. So yeah, putting it in the Crown Store makes sense. Not saying it's great or anything else like that, but I don't see it being as harmful as some people probably are going to make it to be.
Yep, I have Skyshard Hunter on 1.
Grinding them all up and doing all that stuff. Yeah,
Everyone is. Everyone is. As soon as you see anything
nice
that you have to pay crowns
Yep.
for.
Yeah. So we have a number of PvP changes also that are going into Cyrodiil. You want to talk about that?
One of the long-standing bugaboos we've heard about
Bugaboos?
Emperor.
Jeez, Rich, you're going to release the dragon.
You
almost released the dragons, Rich.
My bad.
You almost broke the stone.
Xbox is broken.
You can see how sturdy it is.
I saved everybody.
Rich is all about it.
The magnets.
Actually, putting it together really.
We're about to start talking about PvP.
It's like, mother. Yeah.
Rich is like, we're done
It does have that effect.
Just and PvP gets Rich raging. You don't know.
No table flipping.
Emperorship has been something that's been long-standing, a question of what are we going to do to get rid of emp flipping, for lack of a better way to word it. So with update 22, when you become an emperor for one alliance in a campaign, you will not be allowed to become an emperor on another alliance in that campaign for that duration. Yay! So if you become... All right, some applause. So if you get crowned, let's say, for Ebonheart Pact and Vivek, and there's 29 days to go, you gotta be able to get Emperor on another Ebonheart character, but if you try to go blue or yellow, you're not gonna be able to get Emperorship. It'll actually tell you that you're locked.
This makes sense, but now the second thing he says.
That, we are introducing Alliance locked campaigns in update 22. That means right now they're slated for the 230-dayers. We're gonna make it so if you enter that campaign.
Okay, so this is about where I stepped in here, okay? It doesn't matter till fighters, mages, fighters, and other skill lines are available to be purchased. That might be true, man. We'll see. So you don't have to do the Sigil Glide, you just buy it. I think people would buy that too. But now here's an issue here. He mentioned that, like, on Vivek, like, you have to wait for the full 29 days to get it. But then he mentions that the 30-day campaigns are talking about locking, because this is where I came in and watched it later. So what's the point of locking Emperorship when you're alliance locking it and making it so you can't join in with another alliance character? Does anyone catch that? Like, okay, you can't get onto your, you get Emperorship on your EP character. You can't get onto your AD character and get Emperorship in the same campaign. By the way, you also can't get that AD character into that campaign because it's an alliance locked campaign. So what was the point of locking Emperorship in that case? You buy max skill lines because you did the content already. Yeah. Again, I would tie a lot of these over to achievements and just simply make achievements across the board here. But I think if you're going to make that suggestion, you've got to give Bethesda, you got to give ZOS something that they can chew on to put in the Crown Store. And I don't see them doing it with any of these other ideas.
Campaign on a particular alliance, you then lock it for that alliance for that duration for that campaign.
Yeah.
So if you go into Vivek, speaking of that 30-day campaign, as a red character, you won't be able to go in it on a blue or a yellow. We are keeping the 7-day one as you can go in on any.
Okay, so you can lock Emperorship on a 7-day.
But this is sort of experimental.
Halfway paying attention, working. Hey, imagine
how it feels. It's something that people have requested for a long time, so we figured we'd try it out, see how it goes.
Oh, if two people want, if you have two AD characters and you want to get Emperorship, you can do it on both. Both can. He mentioned that already. Like, if you get Emperorship on one of your EP characters, you're gonna have to level up another EP character to get that. Or yeah, well, not level up, but like get AP on that other EP character to get Emperorship. So you can get as much Emperorship on one alliance for a campaign, but not another. And it seems like they're gonna lock the 30 days, but not the 7 days. So like Shore and all those other ones. That's probably where it comes more into play. So you're not going to flip it, but at the same time, you're going to be able to flip it every week. So is it going to have that much impact? I don't know.
So Brian, what were some of the goals that you wanted to hit with those two?
The biggest one is people flipping a whole map for one alliance and then switching characters to another alliance and flipping it back. Mm-hmm. We know that's an issue on various platforms and in various time zones that people
also means that you can come back,
so
you lose your Emperorship and come back and get your Emperorship again.
To go along with some of those additions, we're doing some quality of life stuff like getting rid of the guest assignment. It's sort of a relic that's existed from launch long ago when we had 10 campaigns.
Yeah.
Now that we're only 4, we don't necessarily need it. So if you want to go into a campaign, you can just double click it and go right in. If you want to get your leaderboard rewards, you still have to home it and assign yourself to it. But there's no need to have, guest or home only. It's just go right in and go. But beyond that...
Okay, so you don't have to...
Well, we also have the
you can go into any campaign, it sounds like. It just sounds like you have the home one.
Something coming in 22 as well. Yeah. Volendrung will be the first one. It's a big hammer, and it helps you basically wreck shop.
Artifacts.
We're not showing it here, but one of the abilities is you can beat down a keep wall that's fully upgraded in about 30 seconds.
Wow.
So you can basically rip through a keep wall with this thing. That's just one of the abilities.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool.
So it's pretty rough. Yeah. When you see somebody with it, they'll have a big glow on them. You'll know they're coming and get the hell out of Dodge or go fight them to kill them.
So you can be an Emperor and have that?
No. You cannot be Emperor and have it. So if you are Emperor, you can't pick it up. If you're running around with it and you get crowned Emperor, you drop it.
You
cannot be Emperor and.
Okay, this is actually pretty good here because I was talking earlier about doing generals to like give people reason to like keep on fighting inside a campaign. This kind of gives that general type feel like I was looking for, where you have basically somebody who's like an Emperor with like an upgraded abilities and such, but not necessarily like a full Emperor. So this doesn't stack on with it, but you can still get a benefit from using it.
And have it at the same
time. Those two cannot happen at the same time.
No, one of the things about the artifacts is we designed it as sort of an Emperor killer. Like, we wanted you to run around and try to find the Emperor and
That's
kill
what I
him.
wanted to see with it.
We needed something like that, but also to just toss a little chaos out there
It's a
now
little
and again.
counterplay.
Yeah.
Chaos.
So I think
That's
people
exactly what I want to see.
A little chaos.
People are a little
Into the very
concerned this is going to
structured
be
Cyrodiil.
really OP, but this isn't up all the time, right?
Well,
it's only up sometimes.
It's intended to be OP. But yeah, it's going to be up every about 5 or 6 hours.
And you have to keep feeding it too, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise you lose it.
That's the rub, right?
Yeah.
Is, yes, it's powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful, but you need to keep earning alliance points, and you can't just go repair a wall to keep feeding the damn thing.
Yeah.
You actually need to go kill people and actually participate in taking keeps, defending keeps. So offensive ticks, defensive ticks, that will help keep it into your control. But
Feed
if
the
you
beast.
don't feed it, it just straight up kills you. And it goes through everything we have that can possibly keep you alive. Like, you can't Phoenix this. You can't get some weird bypass. It just straight up kills you when it hits
You can't be a necro and just summon guys and then kill them or whatever. Yeah.
No, you can't necro yourself with it. But it is meant to be
Kinda cool, though.
scary as hell when you see one of these things. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be sort of like analogous when you see an emperor running at you. You're like, oh shit, I'm gonna get wrecked. It's sort of that same feel, but it's also a different type of temporary version of it.
Yeah.
So
That's
Moby
cool.
is getting killed
And
by
it's
these
Justin's
guys. They're
here
going to be
That's
feeding
Justin's
it to
here.
keep going.
Okay. Not
so
going
not
to
Imperial
Imperial
City.
City, no.
Okay.
Best thing to
And I
do.
guess speaking of Imperial
Best thing to
City,
do against best thing to do against that type of guy then is going to be avoiding them so they don't get AP and they die from the tick of it. So that guy's going to want to fight, but everyone else is going to want to stay the fuck away from him.
that's one last thing that's been a long-standing request. Imperial City is now its own campaign.
Yep. Yay.
So you don't have to hoof it in there anymore. You just open up the campaign chooser, click and go right in. No problem. You'll end up in the
Cross-faction guild
sewers.
feeding.
No problem.
That
No
might be an
problem.
issue
No
too.
problem. Not Alliance locked either. So that
right
one's
in.
good to go.
So with the Emperor changes, hopefully we see even more players able to get that Emperor
emperorship.
status.
Yeah, it gives some.
Cool.
It opens it up a bit more for people.
I think it's going to be more common though that
More
monopolize it.
new
opportunity.
players are going to get
careful.
exploited
Yeah,
to
you
be
were.
feeding the
It is
beast
a really
here.
cool costume.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is a good costume. We
Yeah.
know a lot of people want it. But I
So
think
we
that's-
know a lot of people are really anxious to get their hands on Elsweyr, test
Yes.
out the Necromancer, test out everything in Cyrodiil that you've talked about. There's a lot
Yep,
going
yep.
on here. So
And the new trial.
And the new
Yeah,
trial.
you can't forget the
and
trial.
the new trial, of course.
all the opportunities to fight the dragons.
We love once we get on PTS, like these guys will always watch
Stop feeding right
all the
away.
live
Exactly.
streams of everybody trying to go through
Absolutely.
the trial, and
Sometimes they'll lurk. You
they
don't
will
know they're
always,
there.
they're
They'll lurk.
always lurking.
Sometimes we're quietly lurking.
So when can
Sometimes
players start trying this on the PTS?
That's a good question. When?
Week of April 15th.
Yes.
This
April
week of
15th.
PTS.
Week of April
Taxes
15th.
Day. All right.
It's a couple of weeks away.
Yes, it's so close. We have to
So soon.
get to work.
3 weeks?
Lot
2
to
weeks?
do. Lot to do. So that's just
2 weeks.
kind of a general overview of
My boss comes
Elsweyr,
back in
the
2 weeks,
zone,
too.
The Necromancer, the trial. There's a lot of other stuff coming to the base game. All the bug fixes you expect. There's going to be some balance
Balance changes,
changes.
Yep.
We will be posting something on the forums in the next week or so, kind of a general overview of what to expect with gameplay changes, so you can keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
Other than that, though, I think we are just about done.
I think
Yeah.
so. We were
All
warned already.
fixes. Yep.
We'll
So
be back
just-
here. We'll be back here for Q&A tomorrow.
Yeah, we will be back at 3:30 Eastern Time tomorrow. We're going to be doing a big Q&A roundtable. If you have any questions, make sure and post it on the forums or on
Send
Twitter.
us your
Yeah.
questions.
Make sure Rich doesn't kick this
3:30
table.
tomorrow,
Yes.
guys.
I was
We'll clear the
careful the next
table.
time.
I'll be stuck in
We
I'll be
will
stuck
be
in
taking
birthday
all-
hell, but we'll be back.
Taking
We'll
all the
watch it.
questions ahead of time.
Yes.
So please make sure you post them on the
Yes.
official forums. There's also a tweet that you can reply to. What else? You can ask us in person, and we'll write them down for tomorrow.
And just a reminder for the Twitch drops, I see people asking, anyone who's linked on PC Mac, you'll get everything immediately following
no
the stream.
no
So you
Twitch
will be
drops,
getting
guys,
the
sorry.
Clouded Stench Leopard Pet. Console, you have 24 hours to log into the game in order to qualify
24
for your
hours.
things. We will be doing a raffle right after the stream ends, so everybody who is here in person, stick around and see if you won this.
You've been craving Wingstop's flavor for way too long now. It's so good to be back. Back.
This does not support Bethesda. It just does make me hungry, but no.
Awesome console. Otherwise, we are going to sign off, but thank you so much for watching.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks,
everybody.
Online and here.
Use adblock, goddammit. Sorry. I should. Season of the Dragon. This is a new commercial, I see.
Elsweyr, land of the Khajiit.
Oh, Aflik.
Here, life should be good, but we suffer.
Things. We will be doing a round.
Our farm.
Let's get a look at it again.
Elsweyr. Land of the Khajiit.
Damn it. Oh, let's get a look at them.
Elsweyr.
Come here, my fleek.
Land of the Khajiit.
Damn it! Ah, I wanted to first hand picture him. Look at him though. He's got a little eye patch. He's got a little scarf there. Oh. Oh, he's so cute.
Here, life should be good. But we suffer
Big kitty.
1,000 perils.
Dragon?
Our towns and cities crashed beneath the tyrannical rule of the usurper queen. Our farms and villages overrun by hordes of undead. And the very land itself set afire by a rage of dragons.
Rage of dragons.
But through the smoke and flames, hope stirs.
Go, 6 people.
Heroes emerge, ready to defend Elsweyr against a tide of unending danger.
All her fault. Darn's fault.
Wielding weapons, spells, and even necromancy to claim victory at all costs.
Do-do-do-do-do. You like the dragon attacks are random? Yes. Necro kitties, yes.